right. Hey, everybody. Good to see you all once again. It is I, Steve. For those of you that I've not had the pleasure of actually meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I am the executive producer of Float. Tonight, I am sporting my official Seahawks 12th man jersey. Yes, they are out of the Super Bowl running. They were out last week. And I can't lie to you, for a very, very selfish reason, I'm kind of glad. Because when the Seahawks make it to the playoffs and they do this, the team has they don't really spend money throughout the year. They only spend money in the postseason, but they always spend money on postseason celebratory stuff. Well, they can't have fans there, so they're not gonna do it. Does that make sense? So yeah. So in that regard, like I said, I'm actually kind of glad that that they're out. It's okay. I know it's totally selfish, and I'm sorry, but it's just, you have to look at everything with that silver lining, right? So that's the silver lining. So there you go. Hello, Celeste Davis. Good to see you. Hello, Debbie Levy. Nice to see you guys. Tonight we've got a lot of stuff to do. We got a lot of stuff to get through. Jessica Zillman, howdy. How are you? Hey, that's Jessica Zillman, Designer of the Year from Float 2020. So, or one half of Designer of the Year, Float 2020. So, yep, there you go. There you go. You're absolutely right there, Dina. And hello, Grace. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming out here tonight and joining us here in the world of Step Chat. Glad to have you. Bonita, wow. I think this is the first time you've ever been out here. Nice to see you. How you doing? Kirsty, good to see you. Hannah True, I owe you an apology. Hannah, I am so sorry. You asked me the other night to do a favor for you on Tuesdays with Tony, and I had every intention of doing it, and it just fell off my radar entirely. So can you do me a favor, Hannah, and send me a private message to remind me to do you the favor? Okay? Can you do that for me? And then that way I'll cover it. Hello, Susan Marrero. Nice to see you and your gorgeous purple hair. Big fan. Tammy Webb. Wow, look at all these people coming out here tonight. This is great. So I do want to get to we have a lot of content to cover tonight, so I want to get to it. And it's, like I said, with Float Friday coming up in 5 days, yeah, we have a lot of stuff to cover. I am so excited because now we set the bar high. Oh, Dory, thank you so much. Hello, Sherry Rankin, good to see you. Memory going with age, yes. Thank you, Stephanie. There you go. Natasha, is Philomena rocking a wig? Yes, Philomena is sporting a rainbow wig. And the truth of the matter is, I was going to actually print up a card that said John 3:16 until I realized that probably 2/3 of the viewing audience would have no idea what that's pertaining to. So, hello, Sydney Hayden. So if you don't know the connection between a rainbow wig and John 3:16, there's this thing called Google. Go check it out, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. The Simpsons even did a parody of it, so you'll get it, because if it's pop culture history, The Simpsons did it, right? Okay, so let's get started tonight. Let's cover the stuff we got to cover first, the regular business. All right. So Dante's class was on Tuesday. Dante's class was fabulous. I had a moment of panic about halfway through. For those of you that were live on the call, you'll know why. But I was so blown away by what happened in the second half of the class. For those of you that were not there, and for those of you that didn't sign up, Dante taught, hello, Tommy De Lorenzo. Dante taught, obviously, all his tips and tricks with working with grids and how to put them together and how you should stand them up, how you should connect them, how you can do different things with them. Pretty standard Dante wall type stuff. But then Dante went one step further, and Dante actually broke out his computer and showed you step by step how he plots a wall. It was really interesting. It was really great to see that behind the scenes kind of look as to how it takes. So many people are like, yeah, I get this, I get that, but how do you do this and how do you do that? And so it was really great to see Dante share that with everybody. It was a really good class. So for those of you that enrolled and you didn't if you weren't there Tuesday for the actual live in-person class, your replay has been extended for 4 weeks. So you've got until February 13th. Yes, that is the day before Valentine's Day. You have until February 13th to watch that video, okay, for free. Now, I actually had a conversation with somebody this morning who said, okay, well, I'll make sure I set my alarm for February 13th so I don't forget. You need to tell me that you're going to, why don't you set it for like Friday? Or, why would you wait till the very last day to set the alarm? I mean, okay, it makes sense. You're like, oh crap, don't forget, right? I mean, I get that. But why would you not try to watch it before that? And this is Jessica, and why not do it now? That's exactly what I said. What are you doing? If you're not doing anything, it's an hour. And again, like I said before, now that we've extended these replay options for everybody, there's no extension. Well, we can't extend them anyway, but the reality is that there's no justification for an extension now because you've got a month. For crying out loud, if you can't take 1 hour out of a month and watch this class, I just don't know what, maybe you're doing a lot more business than I am. And if that's the case, good on you. But yeah, I think we have to, at some point you got to sit down and I'm going to be a grown-up now and watch this thing that I paid for. So there's that. So the email blast for the instructions went out on Friday. If you can't find it, remember, search for my email address, which is steve@floatconvention.com. Make sure you check all your bins, check your bulk, check your junk, check your spam, check your promotions. And then you can also search for the word replay, because I always put the word replay in the email title. So search for that, and hopefully you'll find it, and you'll be good to go. The great thing is, with the system we're using now for people to sign up for the class, you get to enter the email address you want, not the PayPal address. So if there's a glitch, it's because you did it. So, and we've already had it happen. We had one person who apparently typoed their email address and then just lazily copied and pasted it and dropped it in again. So they typed in the wrong email address twice. So that's the thing. Okay, second thing, our new class that's going on in February, Melissa Vincent with Gear Up for Graduation. Make sure that you get signed up for that. That is going on. Enrollment's going on right now in the Orange store. You can sign up for that. Remember, if you are pre-registered for Float 2022, you do get $10 off the class. I do also want to say that because Float Friday is this Friday and registration reopens on Friday, if you're not currently pre-registered for Float and you're going to sign up in the next week or so, then don't bother signing up for Melissa's class yet. Sign up after you register for Float. Then that way you can get that done. Hello there, Corinne, and hello, Marissa Matthews. Thank you very much. I touched on my 12th man jersey a little bit earlier in the conversation, and an extremely selfish motivation. So there you go. Thank you, Teresa. Glad to hear that you're excited for that. Personally, I'm excited for you, but there's a couple of reasons for that. All right, so that's number 2, Melissa's class going on now. If you are eligible, okay, so first of all, if you're in the Float forum, right? If you're in the Float forum, remember, I posted the discount code earlier in the week. So it's there along with Melissa's graphic. If you are not in the forum, but you are eligible for the discount, message me privately and I'll be more than happy to share that with you, okay? All right. Speaking of the Float forum, I want to interject something the other day. Something happened on Friday that is absolutely amazing. 3 new people joined the group. Now we call that a trifecta, because if you know anything about horse racing, right, you picked all 3, boom, boom, boom. So it's a trifecta. But we had a trifecta on Friday, because not 1, not 2, but 3 Stephanies joined the Float forum on Friday. It was kind of amazing. Hey, Angela, how are you? Angela, I got to tell you, I really enjoyed your interview on 3 Minutes with T. That was so nice. It was so good to see you just kind of at home, hanging out, chatting and everything. thank you so much for being part of Teresa's show. That was great. I really enjoyed that. So thank you for that. So yeah, I couldn't believe that we had 3 Stephanies join on the same day. All 3 of them were admitted on the same day. So yeah, that was so cool. It was 2 Stephanies with an IE and a Stephanie with an F and a Y from Colombia, a first timer, as a matter of fact. So that was very cool. It was very fun. Again, remember, if you are fully paid for Float 2022, you are invited into the Float Forum, which is a private group exclusively for business questions. That kind of, it's that you're allowed to do all kinds. You can how in the Float group you're not really allowed to post your promo pictures. You're not really allowed to post portfolio pictures. You totally can in there. You can totally do all kinds of stuff. It's great. And people comment on it. People ask questions. People get real in there and ask some serious questions about their business that they don't necessarily want to post somewhere else. Jackie37, thank you. By the way, Jackie, the mysteries of PayPal. By the way, if you see that envelope sitting behind Philomena right there, Jackie, that's your shirt ready to go out in the mail. Tomorrow is a federal holiday here in the U.S., so I can't really drop it off until Tuesday, unfortunately. But I owe you an apology, sort of. You'll understand. So when I originally typed in your address and got all the pricing information for shipping to you, I told you it was going to be another $7 to ship your shirt. I went through PayPal today and just went ahead and did it. It was $4. I don't know what it was. So we're good. So you don't even have to worry about it. I know I already told you not to worry about it, but that's not the point. The point is I didn't want you to think when you got this envelope, hey, he said this and I committed to buying him a drink. No, we're good. So you're fine. So we're good. And your shirt's ready to go. In fact, now I will say this. Well, that takes me to my next topic. Okay. So as you guys know, the Float shirts are in mostly. And they've gone out mostly. There's one person, and I don't know exactly who it is. I think it might be Celeste who's on the call tonight. Somebody bought 2 shirts, and one of them, unfortunately, our shirt people shorted us T-shirts in one size. So unfortunately, 2 of the shirts didn't go out yet to people. But all the other shirts that I have on order right now have gone out. So, or at least are ready to go out. Because like I said, tomorrow's a federal holiday, so we don't need to do it. Yay, Christy, thank you. I would love to see you in a selfie at Disney with that shirt on. So thank you. So they're all ready to go. If you want, again, the Float shirts, they're $25. The price includes shipping anywhere in the U.S. If it's reasonable, beyond the cost of out of the U.S., we're just eating it to get it to you, so it's not a big deal. We've got shirt shipping. We have a shirt shipping to England now. We've got them going to Canada. We've got them going to a couple different places. So I'm really excited about that too. So we got one going to Australia. We got PETA in Australia getting one. So I'm really, really excited about it, and I am. And the feedback on the logo has been tremendous. And I was so happy. Someone with a graphic design background actually said to me the other day how much they really, really liked that logo. And I told him, I said, well, you'd laugh if you knew how I made it, because I just literally suck at that kind of stuff. Alexandra, sporting the flag. There you go. I literally, like, if you look at the graphic for StepChat and you look at Roscoe, the image that I created of Roscoe is literally made up of circles and triangles and squares. And if you look, like, especially in the tail, you can see it in the tail where it's like round, straight, and that's my skills are very not bad when it comes to graphic design work. So I'm trying to do better, but I kind of suck. But yeah, so I'm really glad, and the response for the logo tees has been great. I really love it. We're doing this for a couple reasons, obviously. Number one, with Float Friday coming up, we knew everybody was excited. We wanted to get the shirts in their hands as quickly as possible. On top of that, the other thing about it is that with the possibility of COVID, we wanted to we were like, this might be the year that we pre-sell stuff and ship it, because we don't know what COVID's going to be like, and I'll talk more about that later. We don't know what it's going to be like at the convention, and we do know that we want to eliminate issues if we can. So I don't necessarily want, oh, interesting, Karine, I never knew that about San Francisco and having a Phoenix. If we can do something that's going to eliminate you having to wait in line at Float, kind of makes sense. I did have only one person so far got mad at me and said, why are you shipping it to us now when we might lose it? Sorry. I really didn't know how to answer that one per se. I was just like, don't? I don't know. So I don't lose too many T-shirts, to be honest with you. In fact, I have way too many. Less crazy added to an already crazy time happening during registration. Jessica, it's funny you mentioned that. On Float Friday, during my segment on COVID, we will be discussing steps that we're taking this year to eliminate the lines and stuff forming at registration and things like that. So, and actually, the other side of the coin is that one of the things that we're actually going to do is we're only going to have certain hours where you can actually buy merchandise, because we don't want people. We want to get people expedited, then come back later if you want to buy something, kind of a thing. And I know from a perspective of sales, that's bad, because if somebody wants it impulsively, I mean, I can talk. Look, we can be honest here, right? We're business people. If somebody sees the shirt and two other people are buying shirts, I want that shirt, right? I mean, that happens all the time. So from a sales perspective, it makes sense to, oh, did you want to get a shirt? Did you want this? It's called upselling. It's called suggestively selling, right? But with the circumstances that we're dealing with, with Float and with COVID, no, we're going to have to, all of that clearly has to be tabled this year. So, that's what we're doing. Christy, you are the third person today to ask me for a Float hoodie. I'm going to check into it. I promise. And then when I go, at some point, I'm going to go to St. Louis. I got to supervise I have to supervise the transfer of our stuff in storage from St. Louis to Chicago. And what I plan on doing, I was going to do it in like February or March originally, but that was pre-COVID. And now I'm going to wait till summer when it's safer, with temperature and heat and all that fun stuff. And again, by then we'll have more and more people, vaccinated and everything else. So it'll be far less of a risk. But we're probably going to go in the summer at some point and get, it won't be June, because hopefully, dear God, I'll be so buried in the Pride Parade here with all the work we do that I won't be able to go. I'm thinking more like July, maybe, to go. And so when we do that, what we're going to probably do is a lot of our merch that we currently have in storage, I'm going to bring back with me or ship back. Actually, yeah, I'll be shipping most of it back. And then that way the Orange store will be open and we can actually start retailing things and shipping it out and getting it to you now, as opposed to waiting. So, like I said, I just think it's the right thing to do right now. I just think it just seems like the smart thing to do right now. I will probably be going, I'm actually going to probably go to Chicago next month. For a quick 2-day thing. I have to go. So I think I mentioned this in a previous step chat, and if I'm repeating myself, sorry. Grace, I've never been to Float before, but I'm super excited that I'm going this time. We're excited to have you, Grace. I really do get excited for new people. I love it when new people come, only because I love the opportunity to meet all these people that I've been talking to on Facebook. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I'm really, 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 really hoping that we're going to be healthy enough and we're going to be safe enough that I can hug people, because that is what I miss more than anything right now. Alexa Rivera has been the only person I can hug. And don't get me wrong, Alexa's a fantastic hugger, but she's the only one. My adult niece, Venus, who comes and works with us sometimes, she is immune compromised, but because of that, she lives in a virtually sterile environment. So, and she knows that we've been taking very good care and being extremely careful. So, every once in a while I get to hug her, but that's about the extent of it. And I see her like once every couple of months. Don't worry, Jessica, I promise not to hug you. Only because you said so. So there you go. Jessica, I was anti-hugs before COVID. All right, so we'll just like sup, sup, sup. Yeah, and Hannah's another one. Hannah True. Hannah is Hannah's one of those people that I've chatted with and on and socially, like social media, but never had the chance to actually meet them. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. Yeah, so but like I said, okay, so the Float vendor showcase sold out in a month, and it sold out when COVID hit. So basically, when all of our businesses were shutting down and everybody was losing everything, wholesalers were buying the booths at Float like crazy, and so because they didn't want to miss out. So the trade show was sold out in like a month. There is another event space at the hotel that is not part of our contract. It is privately managed by the restaurant. So I need to go take a look at it before I sign a damn thing, because apparently this contract is pretty gnarly as far as requirements and things like that. So I want to make sure that I don't find myself in a situation where, we committed to something and then we can't do it. So I actually want to go, and we never toured it before because the hotel was like, yeah, that's not us. That's privately owned. We don't do that. You can't be here. You can't do this. You can't do that. Don't even look at it. So I was like, all right, well, Teresa, 37. So with that being said, we didn't even look at it. And I didn't think we would need it, to be completely honest with you. I really, yes, Tommy, Harry Carey's right, exactly. I really thought that we had more than enough convention space at the new hotel. Even without COVID, we're packing the place. It's pretty exciting. I mean, it is. I can't lie. It's very exciting. It's also got me already a little nervous about the logistics and everything involved, but we'll make it happen. So I'm not too concerned about it. Tommy, I have picks. It's just another big ballroom. That's good to know. That's great. Joan, thank you so much. If I need help when I come to St. Louis, thank you. I'm not sure how much, we're not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. Part of what we may just do is we may just hire a couple of TaskRabbits to come and load everything into a truck. We're not sure. We're not entirely sure at this point if we're going to get a truck and then drive it to Chicago and store it in a storage locker somewhere, or if we're going to simply have pods show up. The hotel did confirm that the village would allow us to park a pod in the parking lot for the week and use that for in and out storage. So we may just do that. But if that's the case, then I'll just hire a couple guys to come out and basically load the stuff in. Because we'll do some of it. But my bigger concern is I've got to be keeping track, because again, if I've got to be pulling stuff, right? I don't need to be sitting there and trying to move everything and pull and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather just, let's get a couple guys in here that know they're getting hired to come in and pick up heavy stuff and put it back down. So there you go. The older I get, the more I don't want to work like that. So there you go. So yeah, that's going to be in February sometime. I don't know when yet. But yeah, it'll be, and it won't be a long stay. It'll literally be like flying in the morning, stay overnight, fly back the next day. To be honest, it could even really be a fly in the morning, do my walkthrough, whatever, fly home that night. But I'm not that, I don't like doing that. I'd much rather just stay for the night, enjoy myself, experience the hotel as a guest again. I was a guest there once before, but it's nice just to do that. And yes, we could park our box truck in the lot and store your stuff. Thank you, Tommy. That's great to know too. We're exploring with all these options right now. We're looking at option A, B, C, D, trying to figure out what the right way to go is. I know that there's a ton of storage facilities by the hotel. There's a ton of, or at least by the airport, there's a ton of them because I remember seeing them everywhere. So, and I can only assume that the price point will be dramatically lower than what I would pay here. Maybe they'll find all the mail that never showed up for previous floats. That's funny. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. That was good. All right. I've alluded to it more than once. Let's get to it. Let's talk about Float Friday. For those of you that are new to the Float family, Float Friday is kind of a goofy, silly, just theme day that we put together. And we do it once or twice before a convention. But it's never had as much impact as it does this year. Float Friday is traditionally, we always, like the day we relaunched the registrations. Now, as many of you know, we actually started taking registrations last year with the whole COVID thing and the 75 for 75 plan and all that. But at one point we shut it down, we locked it all down and said, nope, we're done for now. You can come back on Float Friday. So Float Friday is the official like holiday of Float. What's going to happen is obviously the registrations are going to get launched again. Other things that are going to happen on Float Friday, we have a slew of announcements that are going to be made. And I mean, we have a slew of major announcements that are going to be made. This isn't like, you know, it's not like, oh, and this year's theme color is orange. No, I think you may have already figured that one out. That's not really a surprise. But no, what we're going to have numerous announcements throughout the day. We've got major changes headed to the convention this year, and I'm very excited about them. And so what's going to happen is me and the other Float Network people are going to share those with you. So let me very quickly chat. Let me check. I'm going to get to my email. By the way, everything that I'm about to share with you right now is in an email that is prepped and ready to go and will be sent out first thing in the morning tomorrow. And it's going out to everyone. It's going out to the entire mailing list. So it's not just for people pre-registered. It's everybody. So everybody that's on our mailing list gets it. Will we be able to rewatch? Christy, yes. And I'll explain that in just a minute. Okay. So, well, actually in a few minutes beyond this, but yes. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. First of all, technically speaking, Float Friday is going to begin on the East Coast at 11:45 p.m. on Thursday. What's going to happen is I'm going to come out here in the Float group and we're going to do a special like countdown to Float Friday. And along with the countdown, we're going to show a special video that we're putting together to kind of kick everything off and get everybody excited. And looking forward to that. And so that'll be taking place this Thursday at about, like I said, 11:45 Eastern time, which is 8:45 Pacific time. So if you're somewhere in the middle or somewhere on the extreme ends of it, you might want to go check out a Google and find out what time it is where you are. But again, East Coast is 11:45 p.m. Like Chicago, like Central Time would be 10:45 p.m. Mountain Time would be 10:45 p.m. or wait, no, 9:45 p.m. And then Seattle, West Coast, 8:45 p.m. All right. So that's going to be that night. Okay. So check that out. That's going to be fun. And then of course, literally at midnight, when the clock strikes midnight, the floodgates reopen and Float registration is open again. And what's funny is there are going to be, I'm going to tell you right now, we might, if previous years are any indicator, we've had as many as 50 people registered in the first half hour when Float Friday starts at midnight. And what's going to happen is, and we've always done this in the past, we didn't do it last year, we're bringing it back because it's kind of a pain, but I like it better. What's going to happen is the quicker you register for Float, the better your discount will be. Now, again, this does not apply to you if you attended 2020. If you came to Float 2020, yes, you will absolutely get your discount code for 2020. So don't even worry about that. That's irregardless, or that's regardless. Forget which is which. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here is that because of all of the $3.99 registrations that we did last summer, the registration fee will not be, we have to look at the math. We have to look at where the numbers go. So the lowest price that Float is going to start at on Float Friday is $4.75. So if you want to sign up for Float and you want to grab a registration at $4.75, you need to be one of the first 20 people to purchase that registration at that price. What's going to happen is people are going to go out, they're going to start the paperwork, they're going to get everything going, and then they're going to dump out before they register, before they pay. And then they're going to get this email that says, hey, you didn't complete your payment. And then they're going to call me 8 months later wanting to know why they're not getting a $4.75 rate. If you don't pay for it right then and there, you're getting dumped out of the system, because the bottom line is there's only 20 spots at $4.75. When those sell out, then it goes to $4.99. When those sell out, it goes to $5.25. And it just keeps going, right? The maximum price for Float is $5.99. Unless, of course, you're an international delegate. Remember, if you are traveling to Float from another country, or if you live in Alaska, Hawaii, or any of the US territories, which includes Puerto Rico, Guam, and Virgin Islands, and that kind of thing, you will absolutely get to come to Float for $3.75. That price point does not expire. So it's not like, oh God, I got to rush to sign up. Nope, you don't. The international rate applies all the time. So you're good to go. There's that. So that starts literally at midnight. And like I said, last year, I swear to God, and the story that I will never forget as long as I live, Crystal Rutan went into labor like 12 minutes before midnight and literally called me either in the hospital or en route to the hospital. How at that point do you not, you're fine. Just, nope, you're good, right? So yeah, that was a thing. Float Friday memories. So there's that. So 11:45 p.m. Eastern time. Now, from this point on, all of the other times I'm going to be discussing are Pacific time. Okay. So the only Eastern time that you need to be concerned about is Thursday night. This does mean, if you're like me and you live on the West Coast, it does mean that you can start signing up for Float technically at 9 o'clock on Thursday. The website does not have the ability to lock you out by time zones. It just doesn't. And it wouldn't be fair anyway. So this way, everybody gets the same starting point and you're good to go. Yes, it's more convenient for some people. Sorry, there's not much I can do about that. Okay. Now, the next element of Float Friday will be taking place at 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Okay. And once again, I will be joining you right here live in the Float group. And we will be talking about a surprise benefit that is coming to everyone who is at least pre-registered for Float 2022. Sorry. So if you are fully paid, if you are partially paid, if you sign up for the payment plan or whatever, as long as you're financially, you have skin in the game for Float 2022, you will get a special benefit, and that will be announced Friday morning in this group at 8 a.m. my time, Pacific time. Okay. So be looking for that Friday morning. That's the first thing. Then at 9 o'clock, wow, that really sucks. That's really funny. Sorry, my printer sucks. Then at 9 a.m. Pacific time, Float is going to unload or release or announce or whatever you want to call it, the next 7 instructors for Float 2022. As you know, we've already announced 3 of them. Okay. We will be formally announcing 7 more on Friday. Now, this is not the entire instructor lineup. As many of you know, we have far more than 10 people that are going to be teaching at Float. But this is the initial kickoff. The sponsors had to give us at least 1 instructor that they're sponsoring by no later than Friday. There are 6 sponsors. I have 5 names. Doesn't matter who the missing one is. Let's just say I'm playing catch up. So there's that. So yeah, and that will be hosted by the talented ladies of Float. The Working Wonders will be hosting a special 9 a.m. broadcast that day, and they will be the ones announcing, for your viewing pleasure, the next round of instructors for Float 2022. I'm really excited about, I mean, I really am. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. I'm really looking forward to finding out and seeing people's reactions and everything else as to who's coming and teaching at Float 2022. All right. Then we're going to give you a bit of a break. And at 11 a.m. Pacific time, the one and only T Money, Teresa Harding, will be coming out here live to do her own series of announcements about something that is so exciting and so secret. And so I can't say a word. I can't say anything about it. The bottom line is you will have to tune in to T Money's show and find out what it is. And I'm really hoping that she does even just a mini version of her regular show. Wouldn't that be great to get like a little 15-minute version of her show on Float Friday? For those of you that never watched it, you got to tune in tomorrow. It's great. It's a wonderful little program. She put so much work into it. It's so fantastic. It's a one-woman variety show. It really is. There's interviews, there's musical numbers, there's news, there's comedy, and there's a lot of heart. And I really, really enjoy the show. So you should check that out. And so I'm thrilled that T Money is going to be making our announcement at 11 a.m. And again, it's so big and secret. There's nothing I can say about it. You're going to have to wait and find out what it is. I promise you will not be disappointed with her announcement. All right. Then at noon, yours truly, noon, once again, Pacific time, yours truly will get back on the call once again. And I am going to do two things. I'm going to do a recap of everything that we've talked about so far that day. And I'm going to be doing another surprise announcement. Now, this won't be as big as Teresa's announcement, that's for sure. But I'll be doing a surprise announcement as well. So you'll be able to check that out. So that's going to be at noon on Friday. Then at 1 o'clock Pacific time on Friday, it is the man himself, Tony Cooper, with Float Friday with Tony. And Teresa, I think that was a hint. I don't think there was a hint there. No, believe it or not, I don't think I gave you a hint. Tony Cooper, I haven't chatted with him about this yet, but I'm hoping that Tony will do a mini version of his show that day with some actual live people on the phone and everything else, blah, blah. But Tony's job, if you remember last week during Step Chat, we revealed that Float is going to be the first location ever where you can take the Certified Balloon Professional exam and the Master Balloon Professional exam. So Tony is going to use his time on Friday to give you a lot more details as to what that's going to involve. Okay, not just the information about, it'll give you information about what you have to do to be eligible. It's give you information about what you have to do to pass, what you'll have to do to maintain. Because yes, there's a level of maintaining as well on the certification. And I need to take a second to give a tremendous shout out to Rhiannon Ablin. Because tomorrow, in the e-blast that you're going to get in the morning and here in the Float group, all these stuff that I'm talking about is going to get posted tomorrow in this group. I literally, so for those of you that don't know, Rhiannon, aside from being an amazing balloon artist who has won floaties the last couple conventions, Rhiannon has a previous life as a graphic designer. And I was literally sitting at my desk, just brain fried. Completely fried and really starting to get overwhelmed by everything that I've got to get done in time for Friday, as well as to go on vacation. I mean, for everything on my list, everything that's on my list for Float Friday that I still have to do, I have an equal thing on my personal list, if not two things on my personal list of things I got to do before we go on vacation. So I was like, oh my God, I just can't, I don't have the bandwidth. So I reached out to Rhiannon and I said, can I please ask you a favor? And so Rhiannon whipped up the most gorgeous logo that I am so excited about. And I'm really excited. I am. I'm really, it's so sharp. It's so professional. It looks so good. It's simple, yet it's elegant. It's a triadic color scheme. I love it. It's fantastic, and you'll see that tomorrow. Okay, so that's going to be, and so Tony's going to cover all those details at 1 o'clock on his show on Friday, and then at 3 p.m. Pacific time, it will be time. At 2:30 in the afternoon that day, I'm going to upload a file into the Float group. That file will not contain a virus. That file will be about a virus. The file that I'll be uploading into the group is the full convention COVID-19 protocol. So I'm going to upload it at about 2:30 in the afternoon. And then at 3 o'clock, I'm going to get out here live and I'm going to go over it with everybody. Now, I need everyone to understand, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. This COVID policy is the worst case scenario for our in-person event. Okay. In the event that we have to do this, these are things we got to do. It's called litigation. It's called protecting. It's called protecting you. It's called protecting me. I'm not going to lie. It's about protecting me as well. We've learned over the years that not everybody shares the Float family mentality. There are people that come to Float that absolutely look out for themselves. And there's people that come to Float who absolutely, emphatically will do whatever they can to get stuff for free. They'll steal stuff. It's happened. We've had people steal stuff from registration. We've had people, all kinds of stuff. So, sneaking into classes they didn't pay for, all that kind of stuff. So we have to protect the interests of the convention, right? Because again, a lawsuit, then it suddenly becomes not worth doing anymore. So we have to be careful. We have to be, and besides, and again, like I said, I think anybody that knows me throughout this whole thing has understood that Steve is, I want you all to be safe. I want you all to be careful. I'm still shocked by the number of people I keep finding out about every day, just about, that's got COVID, balloon people. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm not judging anybody. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe you did something stupid to get it. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I don't want anybody to deal with that stuff. So I don't want anybody coming to Float, and I don't want to be irresponsible to where people come to Float and get it. So, like I said, I'm really, really hoping that we don't, have to deal with it. Hello, Crystal. I was just bragging about you a little bit ago. So I'm not going to tell you what it was, though. You'll have to go back and watch the replay, or I'm sure Jessica will tell you. So that will all be unveiling to you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I am going to take, Hannah, we appreciate all the time you've put towards making this plan and protecting us. Thank you, Hannah. I really appreciate that. Right now, the COVID policy is at 9 pages long. It is, as I said last week, it is actually more extensive than most of the corporate waivers we've had to sign. But keep in mind, all the corporate waivers we've had to sign, we were never in a building. We were never inside a building. So, or at least not, we don't have to sign anything with Amazon. We just show up, show our ID. Do you have any COVID symptoms? They take your temperature, you're good. I'm talking like Microsoft, I'm talking like T-Mobile, all that stuff. We're not even allowed in those buildings right now. And I imagine if we did have to go in there, they would have a form longer than my arm to sign. So there's all that. So what I plan on doing is I plan on spending as much time as I need, up to 2 hours, to go over the plan, to answer questions, to discuss everything with everybody. I do want to make one thing very abundantly clear, though. It is not my intention on Friday to get political with anybody. It is not my intention to debate whether or not it is legal to require a mask. I don't want to get into a debate with anybody as to whether or not someone is a sheeple. I don't want to get into a debate with anybody as to either direction. That's not what this conversation is about. Friday's conversation is absolutely about the rules that will be in place if Float, as an in-person event, right, has to deal with the situation like we're dealing with now. Okay, that's what it is. The great news is, and I think a lot of people have said, and a lot of experts are saying the same thing, it doesn't look like in January we're going to have to deal with this. In fact, I was speaking to a consultant the other day who we're actually going to hire to review our policy and take a look at it and go over it and see what they think. And one of the things that when I told them that, you know, we were planning a 500 to 700 person in-person event in January 2022. When she saw January, she had a meltdown. And then she went, oh, wait, 2022. Oh, you're fine. I went, okay, that's good. So the experts, people that are super, super knowledgeable in the field right now are thinking we'll be fine. Now, again, I'm very well aware we all thought we'd be fine in May, right? So things can change. And if things change, they change. But you know, so what I'm going to share with everybody, and I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not saying this to anger anybody, I'm not saying this to piss anybody off or bum you out, but I promise you, there's at least one aspect of this policy that's not going to make you happy. It's not about making you happy. It's about making you safe. It's about making me safe. It's about making my staff safe. It's about making teachers safe. It's about making everyone safe. And it's about protecting the convention. Because like I said, we're all adults here and we all run businesses. So if anybody gets butthurt over the fact that we might actually have to protect the business that is Float, then clearly you're not putting yourself in the same perspective that you would your own clients and your own customers. So there you go. So that's that. But believe it or not, there's one more thing that I'm also very excited about. Can I still have edibles? Bobby, I don't know what that means. I have no idea what, I really hope you're not referring to, whatever. There's one more thing that I'm very excited about. And it's taking a new form. So starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time and running till 8 p.m. Pacific time, Club Latex returns to Float. But this time, it's different. This time, instead, okay, Bobby, that's right. Bobby, why the hell would you bring that up here? What has that got to do with, what does that have to do with what we're talking about now? You know I love you. What does that got to do with this? And why would that be the first thing out of your mouth as opposed to, hi, Steve, how's it going? Come on, Bobby. Come on. So let's, when Float first, or when COVID hit first, right? Many of you guys know that D-Nice, old school MC from the 80s and 90s, rebranded himself during COVID by coming out and he would do live DJing, doing live DJing on Instagram for hours on end. And people were tuning in every night to Club Quarantine, right? And it was a lot of fun. Well, a lot of other DJs were inspired by D-Nice and did that as well. D-Nice, for those of you that may or may not know, whatever, he was the former, if I'm not mistaken, he was the former DJ for KRS-One of Boogie Down Productions, who was one of the founding groups of rap, period. KRS-One was one of the politically oriented rappers. He was one of the rappers like Public Enemy and things like that who rapped about his experience as a black man living in the United States and injustices and that kind of thing. And D-Nice, I believe, was his DJ at one point, if not all the time, and then went off on his own. So anyway, he inspired a lot of other DJs. And a local DJ here in Seattle named DJ Tegro, whose real name is Adam, every night at 5 o'clock, he would go on Facebook and spin. live mixing, took requests. Basically, you know how we were doing 1 million bubbles and we were doing things to make people happy, right? Adam was doing it every day. Adam was doing it every day, 5 o'clock. Happy hour with DJ Tegro every afternoon. And I found myself tuning in every day. And I really, really found comfort in it. It was something that it was like, wow, this is something that someone who's creative is doing for the goodness of everybody else. And I was feeling the goodness from it, if that makes sense. I was really enjoying it. And I really started looking forward to it every day. And so we did karaoke a couple times with Rio, and that was all right, but it kind of it didn't take on the way we hoped it would. And I can see that because it's very awkward in a virtual environment. But a live DJ is a totally different thing, and it clearly works because, like I said, D Nice had thousands and thousands, if not millions, of followers watching him live. So, and I decided that, you know what, this guy did all this work during COVID. We're going to bring him to Float Friday. So Adam is going to be live mixing from 5 to 8 o'clock for our Club Latex. And he's going to do live mix. And keep in mind, Adam is live mixing. He's not like playing a song and then, okay, I start another song and I start another song. He's going to be live mixing all through the evening. And he's going to be doing it in musical segments. And we're calling it Floating Through the Ages. Basically, it's going to go chronologically. We're going to start off at 5 o'clock with like 50s doo-wop and all kinds of, we call it poppin' and doo-wopping. And then we're going to go into the 70s funk disco era. We're going to move into the 80s after that. We're going to hit the 90s. We're going to hit some rap. We're going to hit some heavy metal. And then we're going to end the night with, dude, it is the 21st century with Mahler contemporary hits. So it's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited about it. And on top of that, they're going to take live requests as they can do them in the group. So it's going to be streaming. And thank God Team Money's involved. Teresa Harding's going to help us out as well. So Teresa's actually going to be hosting it and running Adam's feed through her account. And we're going to be running it that way so that she can actually do some interjecting, some hosting, that kind of thing to help us out. So tell me this Float family is not cool. So we're going to have a good old live DJ mixing for 3 hours Friday night. I'm excited. I really am excited. So now, Christy, because I just saw that she's a disco queen, poppin' and doo-woppin'. No G, Carlos. It's not popping, it's pop in. I'm working on phrases to go with each one that are balloon related. Like I was thinking about discos, like, instead of death, like breath before disco. But people in the decor world don't really mouth inflate very often, unless your power's out for 2 days and you have to make an arch. So there you go. So Christy asked a step-in. Bonita, you're gonna have to explain more to me what that is. I'm sure it's a term I'm just not that familiar with. Is it a musical term, or I'm assuming? I'm really excited about all that. I really am. Now, Christy asked a question earlier. Christy asked if they're going to be able to replay these and watch these. Yes. So the idea here is that all of these videos are going to be streamed live in the Float group, right? They're all going to be here live for you guys to watch. So in other words, as you know, if, for example, you miss Step Chat, right, you can always go back tomorrow and just scroll through the feed and find Step Chat, or you can go to YouTube. So obviously all of these clips are going to be on YouTube at some point. We're probably going to combine most of them together into one big Float Friday special. Now, the one thing that we're going to have an issue with is, oh, by the way, I meant to tell you, okay, that's what, no, I thought that's what you meant. I thought you meant stepping. I didn't know if it was a musical term related to a particular genre of music. That's what I was confused about. So yes, by all means, if you want to step, go step, girl, because not me. I have rhythm. There's absolutely no question about it. I have rhythm. Yes, I do. but everything is above the equator. My feet, if they start moving, I completely fall and I'm done. So I guess for Club Latex, I'll be fine because I can look like I got mad moves and my feet are staying right where they are. So there you go. So yeah, there's that. I'm also going to speak with Adam to make sure that all the music that's played, all of the music played, is absolutely going to be family friendly. So if you want to bring your kids in or anything like that, you're more than welcome to join us. That would work. Okay. So yeah, so we don't want you to feel like you can't do that. So there you go. I'm assuming Christy's comment, "Oh come on," is about my feet. No, it's not. It's not. People laugh at me at float because when I dance, I don't leave the spot I'm standing in. Like I said, I have lots of rhythm, but my feet just do not coordinate with the rest of my body. And so I literally, when I dance at float, I just stand in one place. I don't move. I really don't. It's very funny. I'm curious to know what's all that. There's all weird drama all of a sudden. Not sure what the sigh is, but there's that. So yeah, I'm really excited about all of this. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope that you guys all take part in it. Now, so I'm sorry. Once again, let me get back to line dances. I don't know that there'll be line dance. I mean, there might. I mean, it would make sense for, I know that there's. I don't believe there's going to be a country section if that's what you. Now, of course, but you got the cha-cha slide, you got the other stuff, and I'm sure again if people request it, Adam can mix it in. So I know we did a secret test. I'm freezing up. Hold on. There we go. I saw it. We did a secret test today in a secret float group that shall not be discussed publicly. It's really not a float group. Can I line dance? No. No, my feet don't work. I swear to God, they don't work. Not for dancing. They do all kinds of other stuff. I can play volleyball and go all kinds, but I cannot dance. I lost it. Gone. Totally gone. Let me go back here and see if I can find it. No, there you go. But again, whatever. So like I said, family-friendly stuff, and you guys get to do live requests, so you can pretty much ask whatever you want to do. Keep in mind also that the issue we're going to run into, though, with Facebook is that the DJ's live stream, we have to stop it at 25 minutes. So what's going to happen is each segment, that's one of the reasons why Teresa is going to be part of this, because Teresa is going to be hosting live, and basically when it gets to that 25-minute mark, she's going to kind of fade him out. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever you want to do, and come back, blah, blah, blah. And then the new musical segment will start at the next half hour. So basically, it's 5 to 5:25, 5:30 to 5:55, 6 to 6:25, and goes like that until 8 o'clock. Then what's going to happen is all of these segments are going to be recorded using Teresa's account, and then we're going to upload those to YouTube. So if you miss them, the problem is Facebook will eventually block them because they're going to be chock full of copyrighted material or trademark material. Or I can never remember the right term for that, but either way. So at the end of the day, there's that. So chances are within an hour of watching the live stream on Facebook, Facebook will block it. Sorry, it's been muted or whatever, and then you can't. And then you'll just see Adam mixing. You won't hear anything because they'll take it out. When I did tests in the secret group that shall not be named, I just literally put my phone there and played music for X amount of time until, because I am no club DJ. And after about, I got the warning from Facebook, and then about within 20 minutes after I stopped streaming, it was gone. Or I got a warning that your video's been muted, and that's it. So at that point, when I went back to watch it again, there was only video, there was no audio. So we imagine that's going to happen again. So when that does happen, the great thing is you'll be able to watch the live as it goes on, And then if you want to watch the recording of it, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube later when we mix it down for all to see. So there's that. So yeah, there's a lot going on this Friday. So let me really quickly oh, I remember. You know, it's funny. Bonita and Kathy are talking about the hustle. I remember the hustle too. I never did it. True story. When Saturday Night Fever came out, yes, I'm that old. I was at like 10 or 11. And the guy who taught John Travolta to dance, his name was Denny Terrio. And he put out an instructional album on how to disco dance, how to do all these elaborate ballroom disco dances. At one time in my life, I was the proud owner of Night Moves. And I still remember one dance from that record series. Yep, it's called The Box. That's all I remember. And it was the one that was like, you know, here are some dances you can do by yourself. I was 11, 10, 11. What do you expect? I was going to do it by myself. So yeah, there's all that. Like I said, I'm really excited about this. So real quick, if you've got questions for me, please start lining them up here in the comments so I can address them. So let me recap everything real quick. Dante's class was Tuesday. Man, talk about a surprise nugget in the class that we didn't expect. You have until February 13th to watch the free replay. After that, you'll have to pay for it. If you miss the class and you want to take the class, you'll have to wait to buy the digital download on Valentine's Day. And for some of you ladies, what better gift than the gift of Dante? So there's that. Don't forget our next class with Melissa Vincent is February 23rd. The cutoff for enrollment is February 21st. And yes, you still get the $10 discount if you're at least pre-registered for Float 2022. So if you're eligible for that, if you're in the Float forum, look for Melissa's picture in there. You saw the code already. If you're not in the forum, message me privately and I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Okay, if you're eligible, right? Speaking of which, Benita, you were invited into the forum and you never accepted it. I'm sorry, I'm not wagging my finger at you. I'm just saying. And the problem is they time out after a while. So I have to see if I can resend you that. So if you're going to be out here tonight for a while, Benita, I'm going to send that to you again, okay? So that we can get you in there. So that's what's going on. Again, remember, if you are going to the float shirts, the T-shirts, sit behind Philomena, almost all the shirts are going out. It's my understanding that, by the way, like I said, we were shorted a couple of shirts, so they're actually en route now. Again, with the holiday tomorrow, we're not going to probably see them until not till at least Wednesday. They were sent priority, and so far we've had really good luck with priority mail and first class mail. I know there was some talk about the postal service is all backed up, but we paid for priority shipping for the T-shirts, and priority shipping is 2 to 3 days on average, and they came in 3 days. And first class, right? We're mailing the shirts out first class, and they're all supposed to arrive on schedule. So I'm excited about that. But if you want to get a shirt, they're online right now. We've got plenty of inventory, except for the one size. But once it gets here, we'll have them all. And so if you want to get that order, and remember, the price includes shipping. We're mailing them out to you now. So and we're really excited to see people sport the Float Pride. Remember, when you get your shirt, do me a favor. Are you really, Benita? Do you really work for the post office? That's so cool. And I mean that sincerely, because I have a lot of respect for the postal people, because my God, they put up with some crap. They really do. My postal people, they love me because I'm always nice to them, and because I know that they go through a lot of crap. So good on you. That's good. That's good. That's congratulations. I should, Michael Creighton, Michael from Texas. I'm trying to think. There's a couple of people I know that are postal employees, or was. Michael retired. I know that. trying to think of who. There's another one I know of. I just can't think of who it is. But anyway, it'll come to me later. But good on you, and thank you very much. And you know what? With that being said, on top of that, that is another. Celeste, that's a great question. I'll get to. That is another. That is another thing that I think is often talked about is that the first responders. You know, people are so quick to talk about, justifiably so, the police, the fire, the medics, you know, bus drivers, you know, that kind of thing. The Postal Service. Thank you guys for being there and doing all that you've been doing through all of this. Because again, with everybody staying home and shipping stuff, somebody's got to be there doing all that. Thank you. So Benita, thank you very much for being a first responder. Really appreciate that. So I've got a couple questions popping up here. Number one, is the moose on the wall yet? Nope. The moose is not on the wall yet. It's been really slow this month. So, and like I said, any extra money we had is going to vacation next week. So, yeah, it's not yet. Like I said, whoever built this building did not follow code. And I'm too worried about hanging it myself because it weighs a metric ton. So I need to get somebody in here to do it. And like I said, I have a buddy that offered to do it, but I don't want to talk. The only time I talk to him is when he's helping me with something. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I need to just reach out to him a couple times and be like, hey, how are you? No, I've been thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, hey, by the way, can you help me with something? Then it's okay. Kathy, are the shirts running regular or slim? I don't know because I'm not. It's my understanding that they run pretty true to size. That's what I was told. And they are pre-shrunk if that helps. So unfortunately, that's all I know. Give us the moose. He's behind the curtain, actually. And I didn't leave the curtain down to hide the moose. I never put it up from Dante's class the other day. So that's what's going on. All right. Now, Jessica asked a very valid question. Where is Roscoe? Based on the last couple of weeks, you can probably guess where Roscoe is. But let's go find out for yourself. Shall we? Hello, Roscoe. Oh, and now he gets out of the box. Isn't that great? Am I cramping his style? Is that what I'm doing? Roscoe, your adoring fans want to say hello. And that's the response I get all the time. There you go. He's just discovered that Alexa's not here. He is the single most talkative cat I have ever seen in my life. He will literally, it's kind of amazing. He will, and wow, look at all the hearts go flying. I don't get that. It is hilarious to watch him walk with Alexa in the shop. He will literally talk to her as he's walking, like, I've never seen a cat in my life. And now he's looking at me like, you making fun of me? Yeah, a little bit. I've never in my life found out, I've never met a cat that talks as much as he does. Just literally sits there and just all day long. And he knows I'm talking about it because he keeps glaring over here. It's kind of amazing. Kathy Buell, do we find out on Friday what the theme for the gala is? No, we do not. We do not. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know you've asked me a couple times, Kathy. We're not going to know the theme for the gala for months. We're not going to know. We're not going to know that for months. That will be some of the things that are announced on Friday. Like I'll share a little details with you on Friday about that. But the actual theme for Final Night will not be this. Historically, Final Night's theme isn't finalized until much closer to the convention, like summer at least. I'm not the. I know, and I'm not. And no, don't misunderstand me. I'm not. I hope you didn't take that as browbeating because that wasn't my intention at all. It's. I know you've asked me a couple times about it, and so I'm guessing I just didn't do a good enough job. I probably just said no. I probably didn't do a good enough job of explaining why. The way the inner workings of the convention go is that the people that are in charge of Final Night haven't even decided yet who's doing it. And as such, historically, what will happen is the people that are designing Final Night will then come to me with ideas, and then I'll pick my favorite of the bunch, and then we go from there. That's the great thing about being Flip. Not kidding. No, it's just, yeah. I mean, because we've had a few things, and we get into debates every once in a while. And I get the artist really wants to do this design, but I prefer this idea or whatever. And keep in mind, I'm looking at it from different perspectives. They're looking at it from a design perspective. I'm looking at it from, say, a message perspective. Because remember, I learned something very interesting from a gentleman by the name of Jim Hooker, who is an event planner in Los Angeles. And I met him at an ILEA meeting here in Seattle years ago. And he said something that changed my life as far as balloons and events go. And he said, an event is a message conveyance system. Everybody thinks that an event is an event. It's a party, it's a this, it's a birthday, it's a blah, blah. No, an event is conveying a message. How you convey that message is what we do. When someone's having a birthday party, the message is, I'm turning 50, or I'm turning 30, or I'm turning 21, or whatever it is, right? Or, yay, I was born this day. That's the message. How you convey the message is where we come in. So with Float, you know, sometimes the idea does just dazzle me, and it's like, okay, let's do that. But I always try to find a way to tie it in. Last year, for example, the whole reason why we chose Bon Voyage is because we were leaving St. Louis, right? But we wanted a big kind of a feely send-off for St. Louis. We've had other, you know, The Secret Garden, right? The Secret Garden was a tribute to Deborah Feldman and her memory. So yeah, so and we've had other things too. And another really good one, Melissa Vincent. Melissa Vincent did the Peacock one years ago that was Strut Your Stuff, if you remember correctly. She didn't want to do it. She wanted to do another theme. She wanted to do an Indian, like Middle Eastern type theme. And she had all these design ideas and everything else and blah, blah, blah. And she was really excited about it. And I'm like, no, hey, Teresa, 37. I'm like, nope, Peacock. And she's like, why? And I said, because look at the message. Peacocks are known for being flamboyant, for being show-offy, blah, 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 blah. That's what Final Night is. Final Night is an opportunity for companies to show off. It's an opportunity for us to get all dolled up and dressed up and show off. So we called it Strut Your Stuff. Travis a peacock, right? That kind of a thing. So it's all about the message that you want to send. That's why the Phoenix was so important this year. That's why we chose to go with the Phoenix, because the message, that Phoenix is a symbol of the message we want to send to every single person who's thinking about coming to Float. We're coming back with a vengeance, people. That's what we're saying. So that was it. So yeah. So that answers that question. So really quickly, I'm going to go over the schedule again. We're like an hour and 15. I'm going to go I'm going to very quickly recap the schedule. And then if there's no more questions, I'm going to let you all go. Not that you can't hang up on me anyway. It's perfectly fine. But, and I'm not offended if you do. Okay. So Thursday night, 11:45 Eastern time, we do the countdown to Float Friday, and midnight on the East Coast, 9 o'clock on the West Coast. Registration's officially open for Float 2022, or reopen for Float 2022. All right, 8 a.m. Pacific time. You'll join me here in the Float group, and I'm going to do a surprise announcement exclusively for those people that are pre-registered for Float 2022. Okay. At 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., the ladies of Working Wonders will share with you the next round of instructor announcements for Float 2022. They are not the complete list. They are the first round. Remember, each sponsor was only required to give me one teacher. They have later in the year to get me the rest of them. So we're going to spread all this out. So the reality here is that you'll get a partial lineup, but a good lineup starting on Friday. Then at 11 a.m., the one and only T-Money, Teresa Harding, is going to join us live in the Float group for a special surprise announcement that is so big I can't say a thing about it without giving something away. So she's going to share that with you 11 a.m. At noon, I'm going to join you back on here again. I'm going to do a recap of everything we've talked about so far that day and announce another surprise for you. At 1 o'clock, the one and only Tony Cooper will be hosting Float Friday with Tony. He will be going over a lot of the details regarding the brand new certified and master balloon professional certifications that will be launching at Float 2022. Okay. Then at 3 p.m., that's when you and I get to have the Float COVID discussion. That'll be taking place at 3 o'clock on Friday. And then finally, from 5 to 8 p.m. Pacific time, DJ Tegro, aka Adam, will be joining us here live in the Float group for live mixing and club latex just for you. So that is the official schedule for Float Friday. I'm really excited. If you've forgotten anything, I don't blame you. It's a lot to remember. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. my time, probably 9 o'clock on the East Coast or so, you're going to get an email from me with all of this information, plus a lot more, right? That's going to be in the email for you. That's all going to be there. Jen, that's a great question. Give me just a second. That's all going to be in there. Plus, on top of that, a lot of the content that I covered tonight, I'll be posting throughout the week right here in the Float group. So you know that it'll be here as well. Keep in mind, we're going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff this week to get ready for Float Friday. Really excited and really glad to have you on board. And I can't say this enough. Actually, I'm going to answer Jen's question first, and then I'm going to come back to what I want to say. Will certifications and competitions overlap? Can we do both? Okay. So the certified balloon professional and the master balloon professional testing will be taking place on Friday, January 21st at Float. The competition series will begin on Saturday, January 22nd. It will conclude on Sunday, January 23rd. Okay. With or without COVID? Well, if it's with COVID, well, again, I'll talk about that Friday. But the point is that the new certification will begin. Now, the CBA program, if you're testing for the CBA program, that for the last couple of conventions, we've actually scheduled it on Saturday so that people could take the CBA and then still take optional classes on Sunday. I've gotten the feel from Pioneer that they don't want to do that anymore, that they want to bring it back to Sunday. So with that being said, more than likely the CBA exam will be administered on Sunday at Float, but this testing will be taking place on Friday. Some of you are going to be upset about that. There's nothing I can do about it because the reality is we don't have enough room in the hotel. As big as this place is, and as much as we've got going on, we don't have enough room in the hotel to do the testing on Saturday or Sunday. It has to be done on Friday. So I would strongly suggest that if you're planning on taking the exam at Float for the CBP or MBP, that you absolutely plan on getting in on Thursday so that you can take the exam first thing on Friday. Okay. But again, this will all be explained in further detail on Friday. Also understand that Tony is not going to have every single minutia of detail for this testing. The committee is still putting things together. We're still building things. What you're going to get is a basic outline and timeline. Okay. To give you an idea. Okay. So back to what I was going to conclude with. None of this, none of what we're doing is possible without you. You guys have been unreal. The feedback, the energy, the excitement. This year, I mean, again, everybody hated 2020. Everybody's, I'm so glad 2020 is over. I keep saying this. I did not go to bed on December 31st thinking, oh, thank God I'll wake up and it's another year. Because there were so many good things that also came of all this. again, when I think about the new friends that have joined my life since COVID, balloon people that I only knew very, very superficially on social media, now they're some of my best friends. Um, I am just really, really, really excited about all of this. And and you guys are, I mean, again, the energy that you guys have put into this, the fact that we now have 4 weekly programs on this network that people voluntarily do. It's phenomenal. Um, but even more than that, let's not even talk about COVID. Let's talk about before COVID. Let's talk about leading up to COVID. Let's talk about life before COVID. This convention, Alexa and I were talking about this today. This convention was a scraptacular event. That's what I called it. My ex called it craptacular, not Rio, but the one before her. But I called it scraptacular because it was always like by the seat of our pants, we'll get it done and we'll do everything we can do and what have you. And it has absolutely grown into an amazing accumulation of talent, of excitement, of energy, of ideas, of passion, of dedication, of hard freaking work from so many people. None of this is possible without all of you guys. None of it. None of it's possible. You know, there's only so much credit I can take. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. I worked my butt off for this, right? But at the end of the day, I cannot do alone what so many people. Again, let's go back to earlier in this conversation. I reached out to Rhiannon. I really need help. Can you please, dear God, can you take this off my plate? Boom, gone, done. I'd be still probably sitting there staring at the computer right now trying to figure it out. Again, you've got, Teresa with her account access, and Tony, and like I said, all the show hosts that are doing all of this on their own time. And even then, Teresa, like, you know what? I will gladly help Adam with Friday night and do this and blah, blah, blah. And there's so many of you that have reached out, dude, if there's something I can do at the convention, please put me to work. Let me know what I can do. This is what I'm talking about. You guys are just you are Float. Thank you. Thank you for being who you are and being just the amazing group of people and friends and colleagues and family that you are. Thank you all so much. On that note, I'm gonna let you go. So I'm starving. You guys have a good night, and I will see you very soon this Friday. Well, actually, this Thursday as we kick off Float Friday.